Okay, today's lesson is on measurement conversions within the metric system. And looking at this little chart here, let's quickly go over what these abbreviations mean. We've got the kilometer, which has a prefix of kilo. We've got the hectometer, which has a prefix hecta. We have the decameter, which has a prefix deca. And then we have the basic meter. This is your basic unit of measurement, no prefix on that. And then we have another one with a D, but this is the decimeter. Then we have the centimeter with the prefix centi, and the millimeter with the prefix milli. Now for the most part, you rarely see some of these. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone measure with those units. The ones we usually use are obviously the meter, the millimeter, centimeter, and kilometer. I know that we've all used each of those. And the interesting thing with the metric system is each one increases or decreases based on a factor of 10. So if you look at the basic meter right here, if we move to the right, there are 10 decimeters in 1 meter. So if you had 1 meter, there would be 10 decimeters. And then if you multiply by 10 again, there are 100 centimeters in that 1 meter and 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. And so if you get really good at this, you can kind of move back and forth on the scale, just increasing by multiples of 10. But I'm going to show you another way to convert so that you have something to do before you get really comfortable with these. And they basically use these ratios that are set up here. Now I just showed you, for example, this 1 meter is 100 centimeters, and 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. You could also include in here 1 kilometer. You know, we could say, well, if we move over from a kilometer all the way to a centimeter, you're going to move over once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And so you would have another conversion. But we're going to use those in these examples. By the way, I would watch these other videos. They also show some other things you may want to use when you're making your conversions. But let's take a look at these examples here. So it says use proportional reasoning. I'm going to show you how to use proportions. So looking at the first one, what we're doing is we're comparing centimeters to millimeters. And if you look up on the top of our chart, 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. This is a ratio that you're given. This is a ratio that you could have on your cheat sheet. You could memorize it. It'll also be given to you on a test if you do need it. And the question is, how many millimeters is 30 centimeters? So I'm going to set up this ratio. Where would 30 go? Well, I see that I have centimeters on the top, so I'm going to put 30 centimeters here, and I want to know how many millimeters that is. So I'm going to use this proportion. This is a proportion. A proportion is just comparing 2 fractions. And we're going to solve this. And if you remember back to your algebra days, how do you solve something like this with an x in a fraction? Well, we can cross multiply. So 1 centimeter times x, this is going to be 1x. And 10 millimeters times 30 would be 300. And what is x? Well, x is in the bottom where the millimeters are, so what we have here is 300 millimeters. So that's proportional reasoning. Let's try another one. 240 centimeters to meters. Okay, so I'm comparing centimeters to meters. By the way, it doesn't matter which one goes on the top as long as you keep that consistent. So, what's our relationship between meters and centimeters? Well, looking to the top of the page, let's go up there and take a look. I see meters is 100 centimeters. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. I'll put meter here in centimeter. You don't need to write that, but just to keep us on track. And then I have 240 centimeters. So I'll put 240 centimeters here. And what I want to do then is find out how many meters that is. So there is my proportion. I'm going to cross multiply. I get 100x is 240 centimeters. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 100. And so x is 240 divided by 100 is 2.4. So 240 centimeters, 2.4 meters. And this kind of strategy you can use on any of these. Okay, all you need to do is take a look at the first unit. It's meters compared to the second unit, kilometers. So we'll set up a ratio. Meters compares to kilometers. What's our given ratio? Well, I think it says 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So what I'm going to do now is put 960. Where does 960 go? Top or bottom? Well, 960 meters, I started off with meters on top, so I leave 960 on top. And what am I trying to find out? X. So let's do a little cross multiplying. 1,000x. Okay, so 1,000x equals 960. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 1,000. And x is 960 divided by 1,000. This is going to be decimal 96. And so there is my answer. All right. I think that gives you a few to try. I know there are 2 more here, and then there's an assignment sheet that you can also work on. Okay. Good luck with that.